Welcome everyone at our weekly community meeting for developers Cozystack. Please put your name into this document. Traditionally, I will remember that we have a Telegram channel where you can come and ask your questions. We also have Slack group in official Kubernetes Slack. We probably have nobody new in this meeting, so we will go direct to agenda. Today's two topics I want to talk about. The first one is about GitOps configuration for Cozystack. We prepared reference repository where you can see how can you manage Cozystack with Fluxcd. The main idea that this repository contains configuration for the cluster. There is main customization file which applies some specific tenant and all the applications for it. It can be passed through values specified here. Those values will be templated from this chart from charts directory will be used to template those values and generate needed applications. So in this way, you can keep your configuration in Git and still configure and run applications in Cozystack using GitOps approach. The address of the repository I will put into chat. And the next topic is CVD state. Currently, I'm working at implementing S3 storage for Cozystack. This is currently work in progress. And I was thinking how to enable provisioning of S3 volumes for every customer. The main idea here that when you configure tenant, there is extra option added for enabling CVDFS. And after that, the new daemon set will be created. The new deployment of CVDFS will be created, and it can be used in the same tenant or tenants created behind it. So if we create it in root, it will be accessible for every user created in the down layers of tenant root. The same logic like we do with etcd and monitoring. So CVDFS will be common file system for provisioning S3 volumes and S3 buckets. To provision the volumes, the new driver was created, and I'll show you a short demo how it works. For example, we can see the pods in tenant root namespace. We see that there are database, which is holding metadata for CVDFS. This is ordinary Postgres, and few services needed to be CVDFS running: masters, volume servers, and filer, which provides you HTTP gateway, HTTP API, and S3 API for accessing the files. There is also a new driver already running. It's called Object Storage Provisioner. Actually, it operates with the following entities as bucket access class, bucket claim, bucket access, and probably it. So we have bucket class, which looks pretty similar to storage class, but for buckets. Here is a driver specified for every CVDFS deployed in Cozystack. It will be different. The same thing for bucket access class. It also holds this driver specified. When we want to create new S3 bucket, we can do bucket claim. So we create bucket claim. This is how it looks like. That we need. It is just actually name of the bucket. And bucket access for accessing the bucket. We specify the claim we want to access and where to write credentials to connect this bucket. Actually, the new secret will be created. After we create bucket, we can create bucket access. So it will be created, and immediately it will create secret. So we can create this secret and see that this bucket is available in this endpoint with this access key and secret key. Then we can create, we can use Minio client or any other compatible S3 client for setting up this S3 storage. So we specify endpoint, access key, and secret key. And now we can copy some data into it. For example, let's create bucket access file. And it is there. That's it. This is how it works. Currently, I'm considering which options should be configurable. I think the base setup, it will only be available to specify amount of replicas for storage nodes and default replication layer level for the buckets. That's it. Do you have any questions?
Can I ask one question? Hello, everyone. I've missed the beginning of this meeting, so I will check on later from the records from the beginning when we didn't show how it's working. For example, for main tenant, there is also an option when you can define some feature like buckets are created as DNS name. So I mean, it's creating additional service. Yes, and after you can also define ingress to that bucket. So it will the name will look like Amazon is supporting, for example, bucket name dot and something, some domain. Does this CFDFS support such services for buckets or something else, where we can define straight access only to that bucket, defining ingress for him?
This is a good question. For now, CVDFS is just supporting to have endpoint, but it is possible to configure separate ingress for CVDFS. So this is how it looks, the default one. There is an opportunity to specify override that if you access bucket name, it will override the path to have it accessible like this, and it will gonna work. I think we will do this to configure this automatically.
Okay, and as I guess, CVDFS hasn't any UI interface in order to check your buckets or something else. It's only CLI. Yes.
It has an interface, but currently it is disabled. I think we can enable it back. I think in Cozystack it will be disabled by default because I haven't found a reliable option for hiding it because interface is very stupid, simple, and it does not provide you opportunity to access it through the using credentials given by S3. It is only possible to specify basic HTTP authentication there. Anyway, let's try to turn it on to see how it works. It should be enabled for filer. Let's enable ingress. And enable auth true. And here it is. So I think should be some opportunity. We can put it behind some proxy or something like that. I still have no idea of how to make authorization working here and to where get the users, because it is only available. It is actually available for everyone to do everything they want.
Andre, also one question about our dashboard. So in default, Kube apps support adding some several repos and something else until you can use it. And beside of them, they are supporting some authentication tools like ODC and LDAP and so on. I want to ask why, for example, Cozystack is thinking about dashboard or something like a tool only for administrators. And I guess that, for example, many users will use Argo CD or something else in order after to install some other applications. But for example, I think that in several cases, for example, giving access to this application dashboard, it is also a good opinion in order to investigate what is installed and so on. So maybe we can take from the mainstream of KubeApps and ODC authentication methods, and also make an option, for example, to add some user-defined repo to this dashboard. Also,
I think it is possible. Are you talking exactly about this dashboard, or you mean some other dashboard?
yeah, I think we can start from this. Maybe later we can make some another tool. But this is, for example, in the beginning, I think this is also normal in order to use or install some.
We actually want to do front end. The reason of Cozystack positioning this dashboard as thing to know how it works for few reasons. First is security reason. I think it is not very secure to provide users opportunity to order all the applications with the parameters they can modify here. For example, they can create tenants, disable isolation for them, and they can affect cluster somehow. So the Cozystack cluster is like administrator area, and we don't want to let users get into it. I think it should be possible to create another dashboard where you can, I know, with the opportunity to specify what parameters you want to manage to give to user, or to provide them information about specific services created. There should be also opportunity to enable and disable deploying of specific applications. I think we will do this in a while, but not for now. For now, we're trying to concentrate ourselves on the things we really do and know how to do and have expertise for. This is backend and stable backend, which we can provide to service providers, which can then just use simple API, integrate to it, and just run the services they want to.
Okay, thank you.
If you know about any dashboards like that, feel free to give an advice, because there is one we're considering. It is more like a dashboard for virtualization. It's called KubeVirt Manager. And this is how it looks like. There are no screenshots. There. So it allows you to create virtual machines, access them through the VNC, create even Kubernetes clusters. And we wanted to create additional bundle of Cozystack just to use this KubeVirt Manager for virtualization. In this way, I think Flux will not be consumed there, because this dashboard works directly with KubeVirt resources and cluster API resources. So they will not be seen in our traditional dashboard. Or we can make integration later, like, I know, to create specific annotations or patch KubeVirt. I don't know. But we have this in plan.
Okay, I got it.
Hey,
Yep.
I have a question. Going back to CVDFS. So I noticed you create a bucket object or something to create an S3 bucket. So what if you get the status of this object with kubectl?
Let's check it out.
What will it contain?
I think it will not contain as much information, because exactly this feature and this API is currently still in development.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to suggest that it has an endpoint in which the bucket could be accessed. You know, like in ingress resources, when you have an endpoint for an ingress.
Yeah, but I think it is not written right here. But it should be written in secret it creates. So when you create bucket access, it creates saves credentials to specified secret. This is like normal secret in Kubernetes. And if you expand it, you can take data bucket info or mount it somewhere to the pod, for example. It will hold this endpoint configuration and
awesome.
all the keys.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Actually, bucket claim creates bucket. And maybe bucket also have something inside. No, just status that it is bound with this bucket ID. Okay, then. Actually, I was working hard for making it working, but I'm happy that now it works.
Yeah,
now,
actually, it looks like an absolute fire from my side. That you can manage buckets like volumes. I think that's quite a cool thing.
yeah, there's still a lot of not answered questions, like how to make quotas, because those resources are not defining the quota, and how to make bucket publicly available, for example, to host static site. This is possible to do through the CVDFS, but it is not possible to do through this API. I was thinking how to implement this, and I think at the beginning, we will implement it very quickly by running a job for every bucket configuration. And this job will go to the CVDFS API and configure all the needed parameters there. Unfortunately, I have no better option right now. I think we will rework and enhance it later.
Would there be a separate resource like, bucket policy or something?
I think it is possible, but it requires more time for developing these APIs because this API is already existing. It's called Cozy. Container Object Storage Interface. So this is like extension for Kubernetes. And they already have few drivers. Yeah, that's it. So they have drivers for Azure, Ceph, and Dell, and SUSE. And now it will be also possible to use it with CVDFS. So the only thing I did is just created interface for this API, and it is like official Kubernetes API. And I hope it will continue to be developed. So maybe they will add this opportunity right in this API, because setting quotas looks like generic task for every S3 storage. I guess it should be there.
Guys, are you familiar with this reloader repo from Staycator? It is reloading development spots if some annotation is defined. So, for example, if you define that annotation to secret or config map or something else, you can define when exactly to rebuild or redeploy that pod or something. I think maybe we can make some use of that tool. Maybe yes, maybe not. I don't know. I just decided.
This is a good idea. I like it. So we can create an annotation to this bucket access or bucket entities, and then can be some job which will be running every time and reconfigure it. I like this idea. Or even create config map which should be executed for setting right permissions. I will take a look at this. Thank you.
Okay. And also, I would like to ask about the idea that we also discussed about making some Cozystack installer Helm chart in order to define some values, some options when you are bootstrapping Cozystack. So also, I think that, for example, when we are installing yesterday I was trying to make a tool. You remember I sent you also some repo where they have made some UI option in order to bootstrap Hetzner clusters and so on. And there were some options, for example, to add encryption to disks of Talos Linux nodes. And also, if we want to make some other approach than Linstore, we must also define some configuration even already on Talos level. So I think there's it means that, for example, we must have maybe more documentation about how to figure out some other some most popular storage providers, for example, to bootstrap it and after run Cozystack also, because in our approach, for example, you can even find some things that if you are, for example, disabling monitoring because you want Elasticsearch, something other tools, but we can have some annotations or something else that is searching for them in order to install. And when Fluxid is not finding them, it's also it's tagged. So I think that if, for example, if you go with such approach that you can install Cozystack almostly in every environment you want, we must give some more flexible options in order to do that. And so installing Helm from installing Cozystack for mail is, I think, a good point where we can start to make it possible.
Totally agree. I think that we can hide this configuration into Helm chart. So instead of writing down the meaning of this configuration, I think we can put it like into Helm chart, which already has validation. I think Cilium has the same approach for installing. They have Helm chart, which installs operator and defines all the parameters in this form. And yes, this makes sense. Like we can make some presets for typical providers, but I think there are not much differences right now. At least for when you're installing bundle and PaaS hosted bundles, it should be defined Kubernetes API endpoints for Cilium and for the installation file. So we can provide some Helm chart for bootstrapping Cozystack that way. I like this idea, and I agree. We can also put a lot of configuration there, like storage classes and network configuration, maybe even lin store configuration.
I'm thinking of this project also in this case that, for example, I like the approach that made the company claim the stake, but they also made this tool only just for them in order to, they just decided to go from, I don't remember, they were using Amazon or something else, and it was very expensive for them to handle all their clusters there. So they decided to go to Hesner, and also they found out Talos and other tools. So, but I think that, for example, we have our Helm tool, and also second, how it is called, where it's for in the Linux UI tool, where you can bootstrap also Talos cluster. How it's called?
Talos Bootstrap, or what do you mean?
Talos Bootstrap, yeah. So I think that we can also in future make some tool, for example, where you can just run it from Docker, for example, and there we can make also some beautiful UI where you can bootstrap your Talos cluster everywhere you want. You want Proxmox, you want, I don't know, Hesna or something else, because all they support data centers for some APIs and tools that where we can also give some options. For example, if you want to, for example, I don't know, run after Cozystack this bundle, you must choose this configuration for Talos config or something. So give some approaches where they can from the beginning defining Talos configuration. It must suit of the needs that they are going after to use. So I think that it will also a great option, and we can make it also popular, because I'm looking now that Talos is Talos is getting more and more popular. So I think that it will become as popular as K3s also, like that many communities are using and so on. And maybe this will be also one great point from where people can notice Cozystack itself, what is its project about.
Yeah, this makes sense. There is a tool, COPS, which is used to bootstrap Kubernetes, bare metal Kubernetes on cloud providers, or on-prem Kubernetes and cloud providers. I think we can go the same approach, where you can just define YAML file and say create cluster, and it will go to the cloud and create clusters.
Yeah, sure. For example, there is a Terraform project for Hesner Cloud, and you can, and also they have they are using Autoscaler and so on. And for example, you can imagine for I don't know, I can use some bare metal Hesner servers, for example, for our main administration cluster, but give also, for example, I want to sell also Kubernetes managed services. So I can use not virtualization of Kamaj and so on. I can just give them maintained by Cozystack virtual machines from Hesner Cloud itself. So, and also I can use it for some autoscaler tools and something else. And I think that there is several ways how it can be in future be развитие. Забыл слово. В общем, I'm sorry. For listeners, for developing this.
Well, I think this is a lot of there is a lot of cool ideas. The only thing is time needed to implementing this. Right now, we have no opportunity to invest our time to developing such tool. I think we will have this time in a while when we will get more clients and we will hire more people working and get involved in this project. Maybe if we also will do demo at CNCF tag up delivery next week. And I think in 2 weeks, it will be totally considered to join Cozystack into Sandbox. So maybe more people will get involved in this process. And this is amazing. You see how Talos Linux community works. They developing just core product and community developing the rest thing around this. All these amazing configuration tools, automation, installers, some community modules, and we're expecting something similar from the community. So we just need to grow the community, and I think all the wishes will be done.
Sure, but look, Talos, if we are talking about Talos, so everybody understand that what they are making. So they are making more secure Linux environment where you don't need to worry about how to make it more secure and something else. Yes, so they say, come on, we have already Kubernetes installs. Don't mind even how it works. It's all secure. Just go on. So Cozystack must also have some something that it can tell you. You know, you don't need to understand. I don't know how to configure it correctly. What CNI is to use in order to that make them work correctly for all the other services that you're going to use. And I think that also this is the sense of making a good documentation about all these things. We must explain to users, to community itself, what is the main opinion of Cozystack that we, it's not just random chooses, okay, let's try Cilium, let's take Leanstore and something else. I think this is good because they must understand why exactly the tools are chosen in order to have in the main Cozystack bundle, because I think that already will be sense, because we can say, you know, don't need to choose for each of them. I don't know, maybe, for example, when I'm imagining it, for example, for now, we are talking about Minio and CVDFS, okay? So I think that Minio community is much bigger than CVDFS, so I can think when I will look at this, hey guys, why they use CVDFS, I don't know. I don't think they are, it's a good choice, but for example, some documentation where we can show that this works much faster. You see, this is Minio, this is CVDFS. Look at look how they work, and some other such documentation will approve all others who come familiar to Cozystack that main contributors like you, Andre, and other guys who are the main contributors of this project have a good practice and they understand what to use and why to use. And you can you can trust them and just don't think this is a good opinion that is used list or something else. You just don't handle, you go after, and you just install all the other stuff you want in order for your business applications to work.
I think this is good idea, but only thing I would like to mention that we not want to hardly depends on specific technologies we use. We want to have an opportunity to make your own custom configurations. This is not available for now because we just started actually the project, but in the future it should work the same way like Kubernetes. Previously, when Kubernetes was created, all the drivers, all the tooling was in Kubernetes. Like CEF driver was in Kubernetes, NFS driver, all of these things were developed as same inbox solution. Now they decomposing this, but moving those parts outside of it. What we want is to create a framework for building such configurations. And current configuration, like PaaS full, which I develop for production use, is just one of the opinion. And I think it might be interesting to make the opportunity to create multiple different configurations with Minio, with CEF, with various tools, and to tell that this is opinion way. But framework, first and foremost, is framework which you can use for building it.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, I just want, my opinion is that, for example, I watched very closely your meeting with Thales guys, and you see what questions they were asking. What is this for? Why we must use it, and so on. And this, it's a very good questions, you know, because Cozystack must have something that it's just close some pains, you know. Thales is closing the pane. You don't need to worry about security or something else. And what makes Cozystack, it must be clear to everyone. What is that? So we show that, oh, I got it. This is the pain that we are resolving. So
managed services on premise.
No, I think, and also it must be, for example, it must be described in documentation maybe more clearly than make everyone to understand what is that. Because I think that one of problems that we have in this moment is that they don't understand exactly what is it.
I think not many people are reading documentation because it is there. Maybe it is not well written, but still feel free to send PRs. So use cases, using Cozystack to build public cloud, to build private cloud, and to use it as Kubernetes distribution. And everything is written here, how to use it, which approach you should use to configure it. Yeah, maybe it is a good idea to provide more information. What problem does it solve?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not about technical hard documentation and so on. I mean, some marketing documentation. What we do.
Yeah, we have specific presentations for this, which we show to our customers. But this is interesting idea. We can try to putting it open source. I think most of the data information from it already done. Actually, the presentation on the main site also containing this
I'm
information.
so sorry that I'm interrupting you. I mean, it's not must look like that, you know. We just know how to use FluxCD, and we have collected some applications together. This is what we can do, because not of one these tools that we are using is something that Cozystack have developed itself. So, and this question comes to it. Okay, what's the problem? I can also install, I don't know, kubevip and something else. What's the opinion to use Cozystack? Why must I use Cozystack? For example, I just can look what bundles you are using. Okay, I will run Cilium and the other tools in my main in my self Argo CD or something else. So this is the most important thing, is that you are a very good specialist in this, you know. Your expertise is the most important thing, your and other guys that are implementing to Cozystack. And this must be very clear to everyone that Cozystack is just not something, I don't know, some guy has collected some tools and here is Cozystack. So it's the expertise of many GitOps specialists. They have working with very many tools and they know clearly how to make it work all together. So it must be very clear to everyone. It's my opinion. I am not telling.
No, it makes sense. Now I understand what kind of.
I just noticed that on the Talos meeting, and to tell the truth, I don't like it very much because that meeting, I don't think that it's a good video to show to others because the way they have made that meeting was not very good for partners, you know. Because they have
we got few clients after this.
That's great.
But so it is working. I didn't like it too, but people are watching and they like it. We have people who came after this. They just get know about us.
Sure.
They like it.
So we can even I can say more. We can make it. You know, I'm just also like you. I'm going to another meetings in our car service meetings. So when we are very many years using very many tools, we have also even we take their robot that we developed in Russia. So it was talking to people and something else. So we were making senses. We were making some show. And for example, Cozystack, when you are going to meet to some companies and to show what is Cozystack, we must first begin of the main must be, this is the pain, this is how we solve it. So not here, this our repository, here is our applications, you know, it must be clear to everyone. First, we show the problem and we say, guys, you know, we know how to solve it. Look at this. I will show you how we make all this happen.
Yeah, looks like we should to put more values into the main page or something like that.
Yeah. You must say, sure, everyone can do it yourself, but you know, you can't do what, and you tell what they can do. What they can even don't mention because all that is done by the very good specialists who have more expertise than many of them.
Mariano wants to say something.
I totally agree with and maybe we need to write and describe some use cases and maybe or try to prepare some comparative tests for these cases and maybe need to describe what things we have powerful for Cozystack, or what is strong side of Cozystack.
If you have any idea what to write, we can write it down and we will use it in our marketing, and also we can put it into website. So expertise, you said this is a good point. So I can.
Guys, I was thinking maybe we could make a meeting and like brainstorm some marketing strategy points or something.
I think it is possible, but what we having right now, it is just community meeting, and I think that community project should also have those points specified.
Of course.
So we can start it right now. So Cozystack values expertise of experts. I would say day 0 to day 2 experience. It's probably the same. What else?
We can say Cozystack can fast grow and fast increase worker servers.
this is the same about speed of the deployment.
It's not deployment, it's about growing our cluster if we have more load, or if we need more resources.
Like flexible cloud or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's looks like if we have AWS and we need more resources, we just take it and fast use it.
I will
That's-
just write easy to extend or easy to expand.
Yeah.
I've shared just now a link to some YouTube influencer repo. It's about bootstrapping cut trace via Ansible. You can see that he has already, for example, 2,300 stars already in his repo. Why? Because you know how he begin his video. I understand that because the main opinion of Cozystack, it's data centers and some enterprise users, because it must be handled the business needs from him. But for example, I think that we must make a lot of noise everywhere. Cozystack here, Cozystack there. So in order to make it happen, we must also use some strategy in order to make some users who are not familiar to Kubernetes, or they want to, I don't know, install Kubernetes and so on. We can give them that opinion. You know, he's saying, you know, Kubernetes is so difficult and so on, but you don't need to worry. I have made an Ansible. You just run it, and you have already Kubernetes installed. So even such a simple, I don't know, thing, you have already 2,000 stars. You know, and I think that it is a good point of start for such a simple project. For example, to just run Kubernetes in I don't know, country in Ansible. So we must. What I want to say that we must have, I don't say only Cozystack itself, but also me and others who are in this community, we must make a lot of videos. For example, how to run Kubernetes, showing how to use it with Talas and Cozystack. But the main thing here is also there is a lot of home lab users. You know, they are using some NIC computers, some other things. So it's about hardware. If it's about hardware, so we must make some bundles that they can, lightweight bundles they can run. Because
Yeah, we had Robert with workshops. Good idea.
Yeah,
we can create workshops and also this interactive environment for setting it up.
Yeah, sure. And you know, some of us, for example, some of us can record that video. Some other can make it, I know, more beautiful, making some other changes and so on. So, for example, if the community needs something that we can't handle ourselves like contributors because we have such expertise like you, but we can also help with some other things like making such videos and so on in order to for a little bit to help with marketing and something else. And maybe there will come some already enterprise clients who will also already pay for something, and you will have more time and more abilities to new rent. I don't know how to may have employees, for example. I haven't practiced English very long time so I'm sorry for everybody who will watch these records also later. I will make my best in order to better speak to this language later. Promise.
I think we can put it as a homework to think what the main value of Cozystack and how to position it. And we can ask you in next meeting, like if there will be good ideas, then why not? We can update website, or we can even prepare pull requests for updating it. It is open source, so even website, I mean.
Yeah, sure. And also, I want to ask about our community Telegram, and we are now using Slack, and we are using Telegram, yes. What about Discord? Maybe on Discord, I like the opinion that somebody has raised some question and you can just make topic of it. So it's separate.
You can create it, share it with us, and we will promote it. And every meeting, we will say that we also have Discord. We can add it on website. So feel free to do this.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah. One more point from my side about Cozystack values. So I think that all the points can be summarized to an operator for a cloud or something. So like Kubernetes operators are like a place where lots of expertise is gathered and provided as a simple thing. So maybe Cozystack could be positioned like that. So it's an operator for a cloud. So it has a lot of expertise built in. It provides a quick start for you. All that thing.
Sounds as a good idea. They also have this term like autopilot.
Yeah, Nikita, great job. Our worst Steve Jobs in community.
Thank you.
Well, we have to finish. That was nice meeting today. Thank you. And see you next week, same time.
Thank you.
Nice
Bye-bye.
evening. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Bye.